Hi, I'm Cynthia Schiller. Please like and subscribe. It's 5 in the morning here and I couldn't sleep. I got this viewer topic request that I want to share with you guys. So this person is responding to a video I did about narcissists and marriage. Now, this person had broken up with his narcissist, and she was actually the one that left. And they were been broken up for about a year and a half. So while they were together, this lady talked about getting married to him. And when she found out she would have to lose her widow's benefit, she didn't want to get married. She didn't want to give up on that money. That's her safety net, but she wasn't willing to give that up. So they don't do that for love. Money's more important than love is something to take into account. So her previous husband, of course, had passed away. And so these people broke up in March of 2021. And she'll be 52 in August. He turned 61 this past January, and he wants a committed marriage. So I believe he's talking about the new person. So this new person wants a marriage and bought her a 3-carat diamond ring. So this lady is a little bit younger by what is that, 9 years, and she just kind of latched on. He sounds like he has some high dollar if he's giving her a 3-carat ring, but she had told my viewer that because they talked about the relationship situation, and she said that she wasn't going to get married and she didn't see herself going down the altar. Now, this lady did tell him that while we were together, um, that getting married, about getting married, but they never happened, and she discarded me. For this other guy. Now, she met him through her work. They both worked together. And right after she discarded him in 21, she moved in with him the very next day. Narcissists love to do that. They had that set up. It's called monkey branching, where they don't leave until they feel secure. That's exactly what she did. Very narcissistic. Doesn't let on to what their plans are. And there's no fixing it. And that can be very hurtful to us. So this man wants the new person wants a committed marriage. He says he doesn't want to be shacking up with her. So he's stating his boundaries. He's the new supply is saying, this is how the deal works. I don't want to shack up. I want a wife. And he's probably being patient, building their relationship, thinking that that's where they're going. And he had said that because he had moved her into his house, and that's what she wanted, according to him. He sold his condo, so there's a sacrifice the new supply is doing, and moved into her home. So I guess they just lived together, but he was probably paying the bills. Maybe her house was nicer or just more convenient. So this viewer's thought is that he doesn't want to live shacking up with her, but it's her house now. So usually it's not always that way, but kind of like a gender role. So now she's in control of, she can kick him out. And she doesn't feel like he's going to leave. So she thinks she's pretty secure in that. And so she already knew that she wasn't planning on getting married to him. So my viewer believes this fear of commitment and getting a divorce and him getting half of everything of what she has. And because they both work together, she's got some fears and doesn't want to secure this relationship by marriage. So this viewer can't understand that, because any non-functional relationship between two people that live together and work together, sooner or later is going to get tired of each other. And that's what can be difficult when you're with somebody that you work with. You're seeing them 24/7. There's a lot of pressures on those relationships, and it's harder to make it through. Some do if it's healthy, and but usually narcissists, if you're outdoing them at work, or interrupting them, or wanting to have lunch with them so they can't go call somebody else on their lunch break, it can kind of start building up anxieties and just falling apart. So let me scroll up for a little bit. So she's gonna want to do that as far as getting married, because when she's ready to discard, whether emotionally or physically, and move on to someone else, my viewer believes that she wants to make a quick exit out of the marriage. And he had said that from what she told him, that he doesn't believe in divorce. So she already knows that this person is like a committed person. They don't believe in divorce. They're very religious about it, very committed. So she's got somebody who's going to be faithful to her, probably going to stick through the good and bad so she can be bad. So that's important to the narcissist. They, it's like they'll push their limits, and they'll have this sense of security that we're not going to leave them. They can do what they want. We'll just apologize, or we'll accept their apology. Especially if you're religious, like we mean through good or bad, like, if I lost a leg, you're still going to be there. It's through good or bad. Life brings you twists and turns in life. It's not so you could go cheat all the time. So they kind of take advantage of that and twist it. That's the other thing too, is they'll twist it to fit their needs. So whatever our boundaries are, they'll twist it to fit their needs. And they're very conniving, and that's why they'll like turn things back around on us if they say that we weren't meeting their needs, that gave them something else, but they don't even tell us what their needs are. If it is sexual, if it is emotional, if it is time, they just get mad at us. They don't tell us. So we're stabbing in the dark. We're making a special meal for them when they wanted time. So our time was spent making a special meal instead of ordering pizza. And now they resent us. And we're like, we thought we were doing something right. So narcissists don't communicate the right way. They don't tell us what they want. They expect us to know. It's very juvenile in the way that they talk about things. But yeah, they can move on quickly. And this person wants to know what my thoughts are. And how do I feel about her meeting someone at work, working with them, moving in with them, being around each other that much each and every day. And he wants to know her every whereabouts. So he's starting to kind of catch on to some stuff. He's getting a little insecure. He's seeing a little bit of red flags. And I believe my viewer is still talking to this person to know this much about the story. So what do I think about it? When you work with somebody, be careful. Be careful. You're going to see every little interaction with other people. It can cause insecurities. You have to be very secure in yourself. There's always new hires. So you can have new situations fairly consistently. Maybe a younger, better looking person, or somebody they seem to spend more time with. Sometimes it's a connection, like we're working on a project, like what you're talking about, and you're just soaking that in. It can cause some jealousies, same vice versa. And they don't get a break from each other. Sometimes it's healthy to have some time apart. Work relationships can work. Depends on the dynamics too. How closely are they just driving to work and they're like 13 floors apart? Do they see what's going on? Are they jealous people? Usually narcissists, they tend to be more jealous, but this person just seems to be wanting to get whatever they can get. They can leave a long-term relationship at the drop of a hat. They'll take a 3-carat ring. Some of them like collect engagement rings. It's like little trophies. Narcissists love to have trophies. And so this viewer also wants me to share with you guys, because this person can't understand. They don't know. To them, it seems like it doesn't seem like that's going to work out. And they're just around each other too much. She's already cheated on him. That's a red flag. And while he was in the hospital sick, classic. As soon as the mouse, or what is it? As soon as the cat is away, the mouse will play. This guy is sick in the hospital, her new supply. And she doesn't care. She was at home. She was at home, at work, and at the gym, and babysitting the grandson. So there is a grandson. Sometimes we do have commitments. I don't know the situation with the parents. My grandma's watching the grandson, if it's a pre-made obligation, but she should still be there for her husband. So this person doesn't believe they're going to get married. Now, this is the kicker, is at this time, they're not getting married. She has no intent on getting married. And it's just going to come down to her age, her security level. If she feels she can find something better, sometimes she'll stick around because he's paying the bills. I don't know what their sex life is like. He is getting older. But it sounds like she just is into the money. That's a pretty nice size ring. I don't know what kind of job they have, but she knows how much he makes based on the fact that she works there. I'm a teacher. Teachers make so many different, you can make 24,000, 60,000. Depends on where you are. Some make 120. So it depends on where you are. And I also teach online. So you guys don't know what I make, but she knows what he makes. And same with cops. My ex was a cop. I ended up later on finding out what he made. State police do make a decent living, but all over the board. Depends on what city and all that. But so she's into the money, didn't want to give up her death benefits from her first husband. And so let me go on a little bit more. So he believes the first thing that she's going to say to the new supply is that, hey, we both work together, we both make good money, because they carpool together, they live together, and it's working for her. It's convenient. Maybe I don't know where they live. I live in Michigan, but maybe he's scraping the car for her, and she can kind of take a little nap in the car when they ride together. It saves on gas money. There's not the stress if your car breaks down, can you make it to work? Because if she was in a different relationship with somebody who worked outside the home or in a different business, it's harder. You got to drop off a half hour earlier so they can get to work, and it's an inconvenience to her. And it's just working for her. And so later he's going to want commitment, which is true. He sounds religious. That's important to a lot of religious people. Not shacking up. So I don't know if they're having sex or not. A lot of times we break that rule, but he is living with her, and he already bought that ring. She doesn't hardly wear it. Last time they talked and he saw her. Now at this time they don't talk anymore because he no longer wants contact with her, which is really healthy. She left him high and dry, and she's with somebody else. He can already see that she's not on the up and up with somebody else. So why would she be on the up and up if they did get back together with him? And what are my thoughts? Do I think this is going to go in his favor, or her favor? It's definitely in her favor. It's definitely in her favor. Now, what he gets out of it is fake love, fake. So as long as he doesn't find out, he might be happy. But when he gets down to the nitty gritty, and it comes down to just like when he was in the hospital, she wasn't there, and he's 9 years older than her. Men tend to have shorter lifespans as well. So is she going to be there for him? Doesn't sound like it. Sounds like everything else is more important. And I don't know why he was in the hospital, how dire it was too, but if she saw him at all or was just too busy with the grandson. I don't know if it was 2 hours a day. So do you think he's going to set boundaries, implement boundaries as far as marriage, and she's going to say no, and that won't last? And they want to know what I think and what my thoughts are. Oh, this is a tough one. Each narcissist is different. We all go through different twists and turns in life. It's working for her right now. Will it last forever? Probably not. Probably not, statistically anyways. Even in healthy relationships, we all have our triggers from our past. We all see things, sometimes we always see them from our point of view. We try to use our empathy and look at it from the other person's perspective, but there gets to be a point where we're like, we need some of our needs met, and that's when we kind of go into desperation mode, which is what the narcissist is in, and then it falls apart. We have little triggers. It could be even be from a past relationship. So we have to be careful on that. If we uh like my first narc was sweet. He did take me to the pier and had explained that he just wanted to postpone the wedding, and it was nice how he did it. He at least acknowledged it. Most narcissists don't do that, but I lived in this house. He had to address it. The wedding was happening. He had to address it because at least he didn't leave me at the altar. But now that I go to the beach, I see that pier, and they have beautiful fireworks, and that's kind of like, I'm a little sad. I'm happy I've dealt with it, but it's still like, I mean, that was nice, but it kind of ruined the beach for me too. It was nice, but sucks at the same time. So we always bring little triggers into our situations. So do I think it's going to be happy? No, it's all for her needs. She'll do what she needs to do to an extent. And as narcissists go through that cycle, they start to resent things. They start to look back on their life or look at what other people have, and they start to get angry. They start to feel that they deserve better. So as this person gets older, unfortunately, a lot of times, you know, it becomes where they're irritated. Now it's not as easy to get around, and they're like, let's go, let's go. Just little things are going to start to eat away at it. And she could stay forever. She knows what death benefits are. So maybe she'll think, if I marry this person, she gets the money. It depends. Some narcissists will completely go after an older man, if they're female or in a different situation, purposely for the money, and they'll stick it out, knowing that the person's going to die. So a 30-year-old might date a 85-year-old knowing, I don't know if it's going to be a year or 10 years, but I'm set for life after that. So they might stick it out. They might marry the person just to make sure that they get that money. It's all conniving. And I wish I knew a little bit more about their interactions. Every situation's different, how much people tolerate. And he's going to stick it out. He's going to stick it out because he's religious, until something eats at him that he doesn't want to just shack up. So what's more important to him? If he's there are I don't want to call them superficial religious people. I struggle with that. I'm very religious in my heart, but I don't lead an orthodox life, so there it's hard to say what his beliefs are. And sometimes the older we get, the more we relate to our mortality, and he might want to do right by his God. So he might say, no, I can't do this. Or he might just be lonely and be caught up in his needs and feeling that God's going to forgive him, or understand. He wants to be married. He wants to be married. She knows that, and she's taking advantage of him. So be careful when you're in these relationships. I hear of certain people when they do get engaged and they don't set a date for a long time. To me, that's a red flag. Sometimes you want a certain venue that's possibly different, but what's more important, your marriage or getting married at a certain place? If it's a certain church, you look at the schedule and you figure it out. And it works for you. If it doesn't, but that's like a procrastination technique, to continue to try you out. So if they do set a wedding date, there's a higher likelihood that's going to happen. Mine set a wedding date right away, and it didn't happen. So it's what, 20-25% of marriages, engagements don't get married anyways. And I'll give the disclaimer that I don't know the study as far as were those 20-year-olds, your 17, 18-year-olds who get engaged because as soon as they're grown-ups, they're going to get married, that kind of stuff. So my take on this is, yeah, the person's just after what they want. They'll say what they need to say, do what they need to do. She got him to sell his condo. So she already has the control in the relationship. And the divorce statistic anyways, I don't know if she was married before. Second marriages have a much, like, it's 40-50% divorce rate, first marriage around 60-67%, and like 76% for third marriages. So statistically it's not going to work. Will they walk down the aisle? All depends on how scared she is of losing her supply. She has her house. She has a job. She could kick him out. She could find another victim. It's hard to say. Keep me posted on the situation. It's interesting to see how it unfolds. A lot of times you can see, but she's already cheating on him. She's already cheating on him. So she's not happy. She's not content. It's not enough for her. And I don't know if that's an ongoing cheating. Sometimes, if you had a one-time oopsie, which isn't really an oopsie, and there's remorse and reflection, that's up to you guys if you work on it. People make mistakes. That's a mistake you would hope people don't make. But if you work through it, that's up to you. But when it's ongoing or totally callous, especially like one night stands, it's like, that's just for sexual needs. They're willing to risk a relationship over a one night stand, as opposed to having confused feelings. We're supposed to redirect our thoughts and cherish the ones that we love and do what needs to be done. But narcissists get caught up in the moment. They're just like kids. They don't think outside the box. It's whatever they see is in front of them. That's why they think in the moment too. They don't think in the future. Their verbal patterns are in the moment. I hate your haircut. Oh shit, shouldn't have said that. They think in the moment. They don't think how it's going to make somebody feel. They don't think a better way to say it. There's different ways of saying, oh, you must have had a great day. I see you went to the beauty salon today. And kind of acknowledging it, but not lying that they like it or don't like it. And there's all these, is so hard. It's so hard because it's easy to hurt somebody's feelings. And you don't want to lie, and relationships are tough, even if you're a healthy person, but it's a little bit more natural when you're healthy. It's a little bit more natural because, a lot of times is we're kind, so people are drawn to us. And there's good and bad people. So we have the kind people who are kind back, and then we have the bad people who bring us toxicity. So we've dealt with toxicity. We can relate to how that feels. So when we're with the good people, it's easier to understand what they might go through. So we watch our words. And we also have some empathy towards people who have been through abuse, that we're trying to be kind to them too, and trying to relate to them. But this is the thing with narcissists, is you can't relate to them. Because I saw this video today, and it was really a good way to word, why don't you ever get closure with a narcissist? You're never going to get closure because the narcissist was fake, and you can't get closure from a ghost. And it's kind of like a play on words because they do love to ghost you. And comment below, at the end of your relationship, I had two. My first one, like I said, we were engaged, living together. He did address it. Second one completely ghosted me right after saying, of course I'll do right by you. Why wouldn't I? When I'm like, what are we doing? Are we doing this? And you get the reassurance and then you get ghosted. No fight. I never fought with either one of them. We might have discussions. I never fought with either one of them. And sometimes it's okay to fight, not physically, but it's okay to have arguments because you care. And some narcissists love to argue, though. That's how they get their adrenaline rush. Mine didn't like the drama. Well, they sure created a lot of drama in my life, a lot of confusion, and the toxic crap I went through that was so avoidable. And, family members had warned, that they don't think the right way. Or my second narcissist says, I don't love like other people do. Um, listen to the people on the outside, listen to your narcissists themselves. The red flags are there. So your next relationship, like I said, it's going to get better. You're going to see red flags and you're going to evaluate if it's fixable. So this person is just evaluating the money. That's what they're doing. They're evaluating the money, the convenience, and it might last. Is it going to be good? No. Is it going to be fulfilling to her? No. She's going to seek outside supply, and it's going to be really hard to hide because they work together, they live together. She can't take a day off of work and say, I'm going and go see the second new supply. It's going to be hard on her. Eventually, just depends on what new supply is dangled in front of her. She'll chase it if it's something enticing, and if she thinks it's better. They feel entitled, and they don't look at the value of the person that they have. They didn't with my viewer. They're already overlooking the value of the second person. So hope that helped. Topic requests are definitely welcome, and big hugs. One-on-ones available. See you soon.